Okay, I'd like to call this regular school board meeting to order. Roll call.
Mr. Ballard?
Here.
Mr. Demakia?
Yes.
Ms. Johnson? Mr. Sturgill?
Here.
Mr. Williams?
Pledge of allegiance. Pledge of allegiance.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
First hearing of the public. Okay, we don't have hard copies of the minutes because we had a printer issue today, so I think everybody's already received those minutes. Hopefully you had a chance to review them. But with that being said, I need a motion to approve, amend, and sign the minutes.
Motion to approve? Second.
Discussion? Roll call.
Mr. Ballard?
Yes.
Mr. Sturgill?
Yes.
Mr. Demakia?
Yes.
Ms. Johnson?
Yes.
Report and recommendations of the treasurer.
I have nothing at this time.
Nice.
You did receive.
I did request some information about Title I funding, and Mr. Hill did get me that information. What I was looking for is actually the current or future Title I spending, because obviously I'm concerned about the rumors, and they may just be rumors, but I don't know, about the spending the Title I funding on administrative salaries, which, I've been around grants for a long time, and I do understand that only a certain percentage can be spent on administration. So I just kind of trying to get some information around Title I spending and what our Title I expenditures look like, if there are cuts going to occur in Title I, and I don't believe we're ready to get that information, right?
We don't have it at this time, yeah. I gave you current for this year. What we are doing currently is looking at doing a pooling model for Title I and the general fund, which would create a separate, it's kind of where the state's wanting us to go anyways, and it would then, you'd take your percentage of title and general fund money, anything instructional general fund, and they'd go into one pot, and then they'd break it out by percentage. It's a new model, so that's kind of why we haven't finalized any budget yet, because we're shifting to that. So, and we're not the first, but we are towards the front end of transitioning to that, so.
Perfect. Okay. Any new business?
Just the resolution.
Yep. A while back, we did vote to create an ad hoc committee, legal committee for the Board of Education. And just as an update, Mr. Ballard and I will be attending a meeting in Independence to discuss certain legal issues, and we'll be able to report back after we have that meeting. That will be happening tomorrow, correct? Yep. Okay. Any other new business? Where are we at, 12.01?
Yeah, new business.
We do have a resolution on the agenda, 12.01. You should have a hard copy of that in front of you. I received an email from Mr. Sturgill pertaining to House Bill 579, in which Representative Dan Ramos is trying to introduce to the floor amongst several other co-sponsors of the bill. Hopefully they'll get it passed. I'm not sure when it will be called to vote, but as the Board of Education, I thought it'd be good for us to support House Bill 579, since, let me, I guess, read the resolution aloud. I don't typically do this, but I think it's worth doing at this point in time. Whereas the Ohio House of Representatives is currently considering legislation that would honor Fleet Admiral Ernest Joseph King, and whereas Admiral Ernest J. King was Commander-in-Chief, United States Fleet and Chief of Naval Operations during World War II, and he directed the United States Navy Operations, Planning, and Administration, and was a member of the Joint Chiefs of Staff. And whereas King was born in Lorain, Ohio, on the 23rd day of November, 1878, the son of James Clydesdale King and Elizabeth Keem King. Whereas a major high school in Lorain, Ohio bore his name, Admiral King High School, until it was merged with the city's other high school in 2010. And in 2011, Lorain dedicated a tribute space at Admiral King's birthplace, and a new elementary school in Lorain currently bears his name. Whereas the 132nd General Assembly, behind the work of Representative Dan Ramos and other co-sponsors, will introduce House Bill 579. And whereas the 23rd day of November is designated as Fleet Admiral Ernest Joseph King Day in honor of the Lorain, Ohio native on that day born in 1878 for his achievements as an officer in the United States Navy, particularly during World War II. Now therefore be it resolved by the Board of Education of Lorain City School District that the Board of Education does express its support of this legislation, House Bill 579. So that's the resolution that is on our agenda, 12.01, and I do believe that he is worthy of this honor, and I'm glad that Representative Ramos is pushing this amongst some of the other representatives in the Ohio House. With that being said, I do need a motion to approve.
So moved. I support.
Discussion? Roll call.
Mr. Sturgill?
Yes.
Mr. Ballard?
Yes.
Mr. Demakia?
Yes.
Ms. Johnson?
Yes.
Second hearing in public. What's our next?
June 4th.
Is there any updates with this whole, with the levy meetings and what's going on? Because I did not make the last levy meeting. Is there any update that we have? Please.
Okay, we had a levy meeting last week and a half ago. And we talked about the bonfire that we usually have, and it was decided upon that we will not have a bonfire, but on the day of the festivities for the football game, we're talking about a parade from the high school to the stadium. Possibly each class will do their own floats. You know, they'll have a theme, they'll do floats. Their attendants will sit on the floats. We'll have the band. We'll have other school groups following the parade. And then we're planning on a tailgate party at the stadium. So, and then possibly we'll fence off the back part of the stadium with like a snow fence. And we will have for the kids like a few carnival games, and like they can play football, cornhole, that type of stuff, and then possibly having like a few nice prizes to give away for the kids at this time. It's all in a phase. I was asked to go to a meeting on last Friday, and it was with the kids. I'm not sure what that group is called, but Mr. Hardy and Mr. Hawks meets with them. And, you know, the kids had a lot to say. You know, like, I don't mind helping the kids. You know, they were excited, and they asked me if I'd like to come back because they said they liked me. So I said I would, you know. So we're talking about maybe having homecoming T-shirts, things that are affordable for the kids. I know that they sell like Titan gear, you know, but some of the kids can't afford that kind of stuff. So I told them maybe like this group, you know, that I met with could come up with maybe a homecoming T-shirt or whatever they'd like, and then they have the opportunity to say what it's going to sell for, whether it's at cost or whether they want to make a few extra cents, you know. And then I said maybe one year we could go back to the bonfire, and then maybe we could still grow. They want to get signs for the yards, like the other communities that show great pride in their school system. You know, like, because I said when I drive down Lake Road, and I used to work, you'd go through Sheffield Lake, Avon Lake. There are signs in the businesses, signs in the front yard, and I think that we need to start doing positive things like this just for the kids. They want to have some fun. And they're proud to be a Lorain Titan, is what I got out of this. They're very proud to be a Lorain Titan. So I think we need to support the kids that way for right now until something else happens with the levy.
What was the reason for not having a bonfire again?
A security, safety, which that was like in the past 2 years was the same issue, so. I did say that I don't necessarily agree with that because we had a lot of security there between the staff and the administration, the police and the auxiliary. And because of one person fighting, I did say, well, they don't quit football when there's a fight at the football game, and they don't close school when there's a fight at the school. So I just felt that maybe we could go along with it. But right now, it's like anything else, negotiated, and this is what we came up with. And then maybe next year, we could go back to the bonfire, starting now, like grooming it, showing them that there's not that much problems in security, because really Chief Rivera is in favor of the bonfire.
Yeah, I say
He fully supports it.
the 2 times that we did have it, I
yeah.
was there, and I'll tell you what a great event.
Yeah,
You
it
had
was
the
a
march
nice
of
event.
the alumni down there, and it was a great turnout. A lot of kids really loved it and enjoyed it. You had one issue that it wasn't even at the bonfire. It was
Right, it was
after the
off-site.
bonfire, away from where we were doing everything, so that's unfortunate, but I fully supported that bonfire. That was a nice event. You guys did a lot of work for it, and it turned out great.
We
So,
started to have
that's too bad.
quite a few citizens come to the event. I think really the last time we had it, there was like 1,000 people there. And it was wasn't students, it was adults,
Yeah.
so I was a little disappointed, but
Actually,
Plan B, the parade, was always my, what I wanted to do also, so.
I think it was more inclusive of different alumni, different groups of people than, I mean, I'm sure having a float thing, that's great for the, for the children. But I think as far as including the community, they really, really like the bonfire at Avon Lake. And you don't quit something because one knucklehead decides he's gonna start a fight. If you're gonna do something like that, you might as well just shut everything down, but I was sad to see them not want, even when Dr. Graham was here, I didn't think it was the right decision.
Right, and it's too hard to do it on your own. You have to have the support
Yeah.
of the school system because you have the employee support and help, and there's no way that,
No, they were a great help, they really were.
right, and they supported it also, so maybe in time it'll come back, but for right now, those are the plans.
We're a high school on the lake,
Yeah.
and I think we feature it. I mean, it was on Lake Erie, and it's a bonfire on a beach, and the kids really liked it. It was easy to keep everything safe. The way it was set up, everybody was kept safe.
Yeah, I know, every year we tweaked it better and better and better to make sure that it was a safe and fun environment. But we could possibly go back to that at another time. I'm not going to give up on it. Because I said I'd like to have the bonfire, I'd like to have the parade and festivities. Other communities have a homecoming pancake breakfast. And then there's no reason why we couldn't even possibly have a homecoming golf outing. Maybe make money for scholarship fund or whatever. There's a lot of possibilities that could happen, so.
I think if you present that again, the way you just did, I don't see any reason why there should be enough. Because that's something that we do, that's a Lorain activity. And I think that if you have lived in Lorain, you would understand the bonfire.
Right. That is correct.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I meet Friday again with Mr. Hardy, Mr. Hawks, and that group of students because they're all have little duties that the students are supposed to come back with. So then after that, then I'll probably have another committee meeting because then we need to get involved, you know. And also that I told him that I would donate myself $100 to give as, we'll have judges from out of the city come and judge their floats, and the class would, with the winning float, would get the award, and then Mr. Hawks matched mine, so it's at $200 for the winning float. So they were kind of hyped up about that. The kids are real excited about it, so they want me to involve like the junior Titan football team and their little cheer squad, so I think it'll be fun.
Good. Well, thank you for all your efforts.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Any other requests? Okay, our next board meeting is June 4th, 5 o'clock, right here at the media center. There's nothing else?
Just for the record, I will say that Board Member Tim Williams did call in, and he is monitoring the meeting on phone call.
Welcome, Tim.
Hope you're feeling better.
I am. I'm still on my way back to take my daughter back to home today.
Okay.
It's exciting. Well, thanks for calling in. Not much entertainment here. All right, we need a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion? Roll call.
Mr. Sturgill?
Yes.
Mrs. Johnson?
Yes.
Mr. Ballard?
Yes.
Mr. Damaki?
Yes. Thank you.
This has been a production of Lorain City Schools TV 20 WLCS.